I would, this is how I would work the flow chart. By the brand, where's my hand? By the brand, and then by the gear type, depending on what it is. So, for example, if there's not a large amount, well, actually, no, I would guess I would just go straight for the brand, okay? Because, like, hey, Petrov, I know that, like, things like, actually, I'm going to put a list down in the bottom. Someone made a great spreadsheet, but, like, Petrov has a gloves that are Contractors Gloves. Now, these, you might look and be like, okay, that doesn't really have a ton of critical hit stuff, but they roll with 11% damage to armor. That poops on absolutely everything else. So you're going to want to go and say, okay, Petrov Defense Group, I need to go and farm Petrov Defense Group. And if a named item drops, there is a large probability that it's going to be these Contractors Gloves. Okay, so we go to Petrov. We say, hey, where's Petrov at? Where's Petrov at? Boom, Petrov's here. So we're going to travel to this safe house, and then we're going to go and we're going to kill this control point. Or you're not going to kill it completely. Now, I'll go into greater detail in another video, but essentially you're going to kill half of it, and then you're just going to repeatedly farm one boss over and over and over and over and over again. And that's going to get you those Contractors Gloves. And then so it's like, okay, check off the box. We got gloves, and they are optimized. And then it's like, all right, I got a backpack with a bunch of crit and vigilance. Is it Providence Defense so that I can get those critical hit chance and headshot damage bonuses? No. Okay, maybe I can go and farm Providence Defense a little bit more. Coyotes Mask is actually a really fantastic exotic. I'm kind of just messing around with it right now because I just unlocked it. But in terms of if you are like lower level and for whatever reason you don't have the crit cap, this can actually be relatively useful to you. I think it's actually a fantastic DPS exotic. Chest piece, again, my first order of business once you hit hard difficulty is go and get a chest piece that has glass cannon and has some reds in it. Go and get a backpack with some vigilance. You're going to watch your damage skyrocket. And you might be like, oh, I want to run a tank build. I want to run a skill build. Doesn't matter, dude. I'm telling you, if you want to do anything efficiently, you're going to have to go and actually damage things. If you're running with a squad, that's great. A lot of people run solo. And even if you're not running solo, clearing content fast is what matters first. Okay? Tank builds are great when you're in a group. Tank builds are great when you want to cheese some stuff, but it takes forever to kill things on heroic difficulty and challenging. So go and just make yourself a damage build. Once it has some optimization, then you can go and you can farm whatever you want to your heart's content, and it's not going to take you any time at all. I'm telling you, it's not going to take you any time at all. Another thing, just before I go, actually, no, I guess I'll talk about the weapons a bit. So for weapons, right now, LMGs are the king. They're just the king. Everything has a lot of health right now, and everything can kill you very quickly. You're just going to want to be able to put as many rounds down range as possible. Guns that I like in the LMG category. Bullet King, fantastic exotic if you can get it. It's a little bit annoying to get. If you have really bad luck, then whatever. It's really more of a support weapon, I would say, simply because you just never run out of ammo, and it replenishes it replenishes ammo to you and your allies. But if you can get this, it can really carry you if you don't have another LMG. Classic M1A. M1A is a fantastic rifle. I would say it's the best rifle in the entire game right now. If you can get your hands on one that has decent rolls, and then slap boomerang or lucky shot onto it, you're going to be in a really good spot. The nice thing about running an all damage build, crit hit and crit chance and crit damage, is that you might go and see some builds that say to the contrary. You can pretty much slap whatever weapon you want on it and it will crush. Critical hit chance, critical hit damage, it's just going to blow everything away. So I could swap on an assault rifle, it'll be fine. But optimally, LMGs and rifles are really great right now. Assault rifles kind of took a little crap in this expansion. They nerfed them pretty significantly. And for LMGs, I would say the MG5 is fantastic. The Bullet King is fantastic. The Negev is still great. The M60, I've been experimenting with a little bit. It shoots fairly slow, but it shoots hard. And from the season pass, you can actually get you can get one called Good Times that has fast hands, which is a fantastic talent to have on LMGs. But otherwise, you're going to want Strained on there, and Strained is going to allow you to really output a lot of damage and make up for your crappy gear at the time. Other things to take into account: backpack talents, Vigilance. I like Vigilance because it is straight up 25% damage. If you get hit, you lose it, but the cooldown for actually reactivating it is not that bad. Alternatively, you can put Concussion on this. I would limit that to PC players because you have a much easier time hitting headshots with a mouse and keyboard than you do with a controller on console. And Concussion basically increases your weapon damage based on you hitting the target in the head, and if you get a kill with a headshot, increase your weapon damage by 15%, which is actually really good. It's just in terms of consistency on console, it's tough. My final thing: if you stuck around for this long, bravo to you. Make sure you slam that like button and leave a comment down below. Let me know if this was useful to you or if you want to know more. Do not waste time with gear sets. Don't waste time with gear sets right now. It's just not worth it. Do not do it. For the most part, they suck. And I know I'm going to get some comments saying, oh, Hardwire is good. I'm doing good with my strikers. True Patriot's fine. For the most part, you are going to not do as much damage. You are going to not be as useful to your team if you are running a gear set. In most circumstances, for our purpose, and this is for me trying to get you to progress as fast as possible to heroics, totally ignore gear sets, guys. Just ignore them, okay? Like, System Corruption is great in the DZ because it lets you just tool on other players. True Patriot can actually be quite viable, which is surprising. You can mix it with Pestilence, which is another exotic LMG, and that's good. Strikers sucks. Don't waste your time with it. Maybe hold on to a couple pieces and just like hope that they buff it, but right now it sucks. I'm telling you guys, like 99% of the gear sets right now, they either suck or they're broken, which makes them suck. Like Hardwired, people running skill builds, Hardwired backpack works like 40% of the time, depending on what kind of skill thing you're using. The problem is that when you're running these, you're only getting 2 actual attributes. If you look on all of these, you get your armor, or just for this one, for example, my finger keeps going off the screen. You get your armor, and you get, you get armor, and you get repair skills on this one, and then you get a slot, and those are the only things you can change. If you go to an actual piece, you get armor, skill damage, effects, plus a slot. You're missing an entire slot. So even if you have like really good rolls on your gear, which I've been trying to do just for testing purposes, for gear sets, you're missing out on like literally like 7 slots of attributes, which is huge. And you're missing out on like chest and back talents are a massive source of your damage. So if you're swapping those out, you're losing everything for something that is not going to give you immediate results. And that's just something I want to drive home to you. I know this video is going a little bit long now, but a lot of people are making these builds with like status effects and stuff, and I totally get it if people want to do it and experiment and stuff like that, and that's totally fine. But like this build right now that I'm running, for example, right, I would consider it pretty decently optimized. I've got all crit. I could get some higher rolls on certain things, but for the most part, I tear through stuff. This damage is instant. If I look at an enemy, it will die, right? But if you're running a status build, or you're running a build that involves like making the target bleed or something like that, there's a bunch of steps that a bunch of hoops that you have to jump through in order to actually make that damage work. So for example, I tried to make an ongoing directive build, and it was like, this was after I already did this, because now I have the ability to farm for whatever I want, right? Try to make an ongoing directive build. I use like 4 pieces of ongoing directive. That makes it so if you kill an enemy under a status effect, it will make them bleed, and you'll do 25% extra damage with the ammo that drops. So it's like, okay, so we have a basis for bleeds. Now I put on Wicked on my backpack, which increases, increases damage with status effects or something like that. You can put Trauma on your chest piece, which makes it so if you shoot an enemy in the chest, it will make them bleed. And then I had a weapon that had, what was it on there? Oh, it's Sadist, which increases your weapon damage by 25% against a bleeding target. The problem with that is that number one, you have to get a kill in order for it to activate. And that's what you should look at when you look at any kind of talents for viability. I have to get a kill for this to activate. In Heroic, how often are you going to really be getting those kills? Are you going to be getting it enough that you're going to be able to stack it up consistently? Right? Like, are you going to be able to go and it's like, okay, this buff lasts for 5 seconds. Are you going to be able to kill another enemy in 5 seconds? Probably not to stack it up. So it's a waste of a talent. So that build is like, okay, in order for me to kill something with this red build, I have to look at it and shoot. For me to kill something with this bleed build, I need to get a status effect on it, which, by the way, now I'm already at the base level. My crit build is dealing 100% of its damage at the top. My bleed build is starting off with nothing because it doesn't have any of the status effect. I mean, it doesn't have any of the bonuses, the weapon damage, anything like that, glass cannon, nothing. It's starting from down here. So then it's like, okay, I have to go and trigger a bleed. Okay, triggered the bleed. Okay, now I have to go and put damage to the boss. So now I'm dealing 25% damage to the bleeding target. It's like, okay, if I want to increase my status damage even more, I have to get the kill on the bleeding target. Otherwise, my ongoing directive isn't going to drop. And it's like, okay, but my damage right now, I can't get the kill on the target. I'm going to have to reload 3 times. It's like, okay, now ongoing directive dropped. Great, now I'm doing 25% more damage. Oh, now I'm up here. And it's like, oh, look, the boss is dead now. You see the problem? It's like, why put yourself through that? Just make a high damage build, people. It's not that hard. Sorry, I'm looking all over the place, but that's my rant. That's my kind of checklist for getting you guys through into heroic content. And I can show you a build discussing like real optimization later on if people even watch this or they're interested in this. I know it's going a little long now. Oh geez, really long. But that's just, I had to get that out there because people are not understanding the trajectory that you need to actually like go through in order to succeed in this game. Once you're able to have a decently optimized build and kill challenging, then it's like, okay, go make a tank build so you can tank for your friends. Go make a skill build so you can kill a bunch of enemies. Go make a healing build so you can heal through legendaries. But the goal is like, if you're not self-sufficient, then you're gonna just take forever to do anything, and you're gonna end up hating this game. And so I'm sorry for ranting, but I probably rambled a bunch, but I am sick and I wanted to put something out there. I wanted to try and help you guys out. So if you could help me out and drop a comment, drop a like, I don't care if it's negative or positive. Just let me know what you think of this video, what you want to see next. Please go follow me on Twitch. I'll be streaming it there. And that's all there is to it, guys. I love all you people. Adam D, out.